All right, the Reds. It is Talking Reds live from Liverpool from the Anfield Wrap. Me, Gareth Roberts, him, Phil Blundell. Got to be honest with you, quite quiet today. Still the international break, of course, so we are still waiting with bated breath and crossed fingers that all of our stars return back home, ready to take on Hodgson's Hornets on Saturday, 12:30 at Anfield, and we begin that mad spell of games. Good spell of games, by the way. A positive thing that we've got all of these things to go for. But on Hodgson, people always say to me, Robbo, time to let it go, mate. You know, it's been 10 years now, but I still can't stand the prick. So I just thought I'd start the show by revisiting the Hodge files. If you don't know what this is, it was Ben Johnson's labour of love. Well, definitely not love, as it says in the intro.
Absolute full-on hatred.
He couldn't stand Hodgson like the rest of us at the time, and he started compiling things he said while Liverpool manager. And even 10 years on, it's just an incredible read. I mean, I'll just scroll at random here, and I'll stop on something and I'll read it, and I just imagine it'll be mad. So, Hodgson on ambition. This was the 13th of December 2010. Our away form continues to be very, very poor, and it's something we need to do something about. If we played the whole of 90 minutes as we played the first 45 minutes, maybe I wouldn't be as disappointed as I am. For a team that wants to be in the top half of the table, wow, our away form is not good enough. Top half of the table.
So this is, if my memory's correct on the date, I think we lost away at Newcastle, who were newly promoted this day.
We were in the relegation zone under this fella. We got beat by Blackpool. Wolves.
It was the Northampton League Cup night, which featured possibly the greatest performance from a fan I've seen in the ground. The fella who sits in front of me, he still sits in front of me, and before kick-off, he's like, I suppose you've got to give him a chance, haven't you? This is before the game. But it's one of those where you're like, it was like I want to see Liverpool to do well, because if Roy Hodgson does well, Liverpool are doing well, and we're all sort of happy, which is ultimately what we wanted, even though we all thought he was a tit or whatever. But by full time, I thought he was going to run over the pitch and kill him. This was in the space of 2 hours. He'd done a full 180. It was absolutely glorious.
Yeah, he just used to excuse absolutely everything. He cozied up to the likes of Ferguson and Mourinho. He had to go at his own players.
The Great Mourinho was the line he used, wasn't it, when he was talking about... I can't remember what it was about, but he was like, well, you should ask the Great Mourinho then, shouldn't you?
That was it. And you know, Ferguson had to go at Torres.
Oh yeah, and he took Ferguson's side.
He had to go at the fans for protesting about Hicks and Gillette. Said it wasn't helpful. He told a reporter that I always tell this because I want you to work out who it is. It's dead obvious, but I always feel like I can't say really. But he told a reporter, or a former reporter, that his problem was that he was too scouse. This was Hodgson, the Liverpool manager, telling a man whose job it was to report on Liverpool, who was from Liverpool, your problem is you are too scouse.
There was another journalist as well who asked him, I think they were in Macedonia. I think we played Rabbit Nicky or something in the qualifier, didn't we, for the Europa League? And this journalist asked him like a tactical question, and it was like he pissed on his kid's Christmas dinner or something. He didn't want any, he was like, why are you asking me about tactics? You're a journalist. Just ask about injuries or something and whatever. It was like he wasn't happy apparently.
He was a blurt in the press conference. He was so bad. He had to go at like some Scandinavian lad once and like basically had a pop about the whole of Scandinavia, saying the whole of Scandinavia had a problem with him. And of course,
that's to watch his football. That's what the problem was.
And by the way, what the lad asked, because I was there, what the lad asked was, do you think your tactics mean that, you know, Fernando Torres is looking a little bit isolated at the moment? And the answer was yes. He was looking isolated, and that came after being beaten by Everton at Goodison. A grim day. Will there be a Roy banner on Saturday? Phil says here. I don't think there will be, no.
Roy's rolls, maybe.
We've got someone's guessed correctly in the comments there. Well done. Yeah. We've also got to mention if you need to register for the ballot to get a ticket for.
It closed yesterday, didn't it?
You can you can still. Yeah, it's go. Don't get involved.
Don't apply. Don't bother.
Don't get involved because I've done mine and I want a ticket. No, it is open now. We're opened at 2:00 yesterday, and you find out on Friday.
Friday, I think it is.
Friday it is, yeah. And we were saying before, we think we're theorising. No one's told us so, but if you want one, you should have a good chance of getting one if you meet the criteria this time. We think, don't we?
I think it'll be much more than 50% chance of getting one. I think it's probably more like 80, and that's presuming.
So I
think a lot of people wouldn't apply even if there weren't any travel issues. I think there's a lot of people who would apply if the credit counted for the final, for example, but will just go, well, I'm not going, so I've got no one to pass the ticket on to, so I won't bother.
And there's a lot of footy to be played, and it costs a lot of money.
There's a lot of games going down in the next month. It's great.
So there is that, and it is great. We've got to keep saying that because it is. I get that people go, look at all these games, but that's a good thing, and that's what happens.
There's one other element is that there might not be a ticket for you in the ballot, but there's a chance that you end up on a waiting list, obviously. Yeah. And the ticket prices, some of the ticket prices are a bit silly. Like, there's a lot of people who are, I would guess, will see a £120 ticket, for example, and go, I'll leave it then. Which, you know, you might, your own personal position on the waiting list is, I'll leave the 120 quid ticket as well. But it's possibly there if you want it. I think most people I think if you want to go, you'll probably be able to go.
Hodgson's watching the show, it looks like here, because someone, and I can only assume it is Roy himself, has said Hodgson was still more tolerable than that Rodgers. He
really wasn't.
He really wasn't, mate. He was absolutely awful in every aspect. He should never have been near the job. And he was an absolute tit virtually every day he was in the job. So there was nothing good about him ever at any point. Whereas, you know, Rodgers, we had some good times, played some good football. And I get that some people don't like him and his manners and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was definitely more fun.
I also think that 2014 season played a pretty big part in the Anfield Wrap as a whole, because I think that's a real season where
roller coaster.
People came together and it grew.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good. It was great for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Another thing that is going on today, as I say, it's a bit mad, as it always is in international break, but we are being linked by various dubious sources to Jude Bellingham. There is a gutter show, by the way, on the agenda for today. I think it is. Are you on it?
I'm on it, yeah.
Yeah. So I've absolutely no doubt that Rob will put this on there as well. So we won't go into great detail, but I was interested there that in the echo here it says Jordan Henderson has hailed Borussia Dortmund star Jude Bellingham. Is that like, you know, Jude, Kirby, please, lad, how much? No. But yeah, it says the Reds have been linked with a move for the talented 18-year-old ever since last summer, and those rumours have not gone away. Bellingham signed for Dortmund in the summer of 2020 from Birmingham in a deal worth $25 million. Since then, he's become a key player for the Bundesliga outfit and has earned a regular place in the England squad. Liverpool are one of several clubs who've been linked, including City, Chelsea, Man United and Real Madrid. I mean, what's your take? I think most people's take is, yeah, I'd have them all day. Do you think there's an actual realistic shout of Liverpool getting them?
I don't see why there isn't. If you're looking at a list of places that Jude Bellingham could go, both from a point of view of who can A, afford him. Yeah, exactly. Who can A, afford him, and B, where would he want to go? It's not a very long list. Not a very long list at all. And ultimately, from our point of view, you're boxing the central midfield position off for 10, 15 years. In 10 years, he's not even 30.
I know.
That's quite scary, really.
And that sort of fits what we always believe to be FSG's buyer model.
You watch him and you can say 80 million quid, 100 million quid's a lot of money, but you extrapolate that over the course of 15 years, it's chicken feed, basically.
Yeah. And also, you know, there would be the option of selling him at his peak, etc., and all of those things that people don't like.
Don't talk about that. Try and get us killed, Gareth.
I know, yeah, so it's about that. But yeah, that's there. That's another thing that is out there. And as I say, I was hoping that you were all going to start firing some questions at me. I even asked on Twitter. I did say to Phil before as well, because me and Phil have not done a Talking Reds together for a while. So whatever I do and whatever I say, and however I pitch the show, someone will still ask about Chris, prompted or not. So Nizza LFC asks, what's a tour Monster Munch?
Ooh, Monster Munch.
Monster Munch for me, I think, as well.
Which flavour Monster Munch, though?
Beef.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's third for me, I think.
Where are you going?
Flaming hot, pickled onion, then beef. But I do like a solid beef Monster Munch.
Yeah.
It's good.
I like flaming hot. Pickled onion I'm into. I just think like you've got to there's got to be work around the eating of it. Like, you can't eat that in the office and then operate with other people because you fucking stink of them.
That is a fair point. That's an absolutely valid point.
Barry Higgins, who on YouTube has also commented saying the Cork show was great, which is really good to hear. I didn't go over, but, you know, I've heard good things. He's also then said on Twitter, because I'm multi-platform, me, he says, did the lads bring you back any Barry's tea? No.
I think these two are the last ones.
We've just used the 2 last bags that were in the office, so Barry, if you're out there.
maybe Barry Higgins is Barry.
Oh.
Hey?
Didn't consider this one, did you?
Is it you? Barry? Someone asks about Bellingham and says, any word from the club on transfer plans? I mean, they're not belling us.
Julian Ward's just through that door over there.
He's put a laughing emoji, to be fair, and but yeah, they don't let us know anything. Never mind transfer plans. Any crisp suggestions? Chloe says here, so I think she wants you to pull something from left field, Phil. That she maybe doesn't know about.
I mean, you can get potatoes in Tesco now.
There you go. The
cheese
big one?
Cheese and onion potatoes.
Which Tesco though?
Formby.
Oh, okay.
Formby, yeah.
What I've clocked about Tesco's is they go for their local market. So like they store different stuff based on the area. So you could get Barry's tea in Park Road Tesco at one point, but not others. Okay. Every day's a school day. Okay, what else we got? Mark Swain says, did Craig bring you any Tato crisps? He's not in. So maybe he has and we just don't know about it, but not that I'm aware of. Apparently Tato also available in Home and Bargain. You can get 600 bags of Barry's off Amazon for 28 quid, says Darren Lewis. Cheers, Dazza.
That's quite a good, that's
not bad, that is
excellent value.
Yeah, cheers, lad. I'll see if I can put it on X's. We've got here, would you prefer, here we go, this is what we want some questions in, this is good. Quadruple or Klopp signing a 4-year extension?
Quadruple.
It's got to be the quadruple, hasn't it? Got to be the quadruple.
What's Jurgen Klopp going to... What? You're giving him a new contract to try and win a quadruple, surely? So just win the quadruple.
It's got to be the quadruple. Oh yeah, Carl Trotman, I'm over Friday, mate. Box of Lions pack for you. Fuck off.
But thanks.
You bastard.
Loves a pack of Lions, Carl, doesn't
Fucking
he?
Lions. What's with it, man? What's with it? They're just not as nice, lad. Come on. Any taste test of any top teeth people, Barry's is coming out on top. Scott Young says, I turned to my mate at West Ham the other week and asked in genuine disbelief, did we actually appoint Roy Hodgson as our manager? I know we did. I watched the football, but I just still couldn't believe it.
I like the idea that Lanzini puts that one over the bar and everyone's got their heads in their hands and he goes, hey, did we appoint Hodgson as manager?
I mean, I think that's like PTSD, isn't it? It sounds like, which is absolutely fair enough. I mean, fucking hell. Dave's LFC chat says we'd get to sing Hey Jude on the cop. I imagine someone would go for that. Jude apparently does go, we'll take you to Heighton, he'll go down Pilch Lane, apparently.
It's no good if he's coming from Bootle, that one though, is it?
We still got this sort of Hodgson v Rodgers thing. Hodgson didn't have a painting of himself, to be fair.
I bet you he probably has.
I mean...
You don't know that he's got one, I will point out.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it.
And also,
right?
You know, Rodgers never had a direct go at the fans like Hodgson did. So, you know, we can do this all day and I'll win. Hodgson's a worse
like
bell.
that game of tennis at Wimbledon that lasted 3 days, isn't it?
Someone's put, and I know they're on the wind up here, the last gentleman in English football. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, mate, no. No. People talking about the game at the weekend. I didn't see too much of that, to be honest. I was out and about, but I did see Gerrard's pen. I did see
Rivaldo's pen.
Rivaldo's pen. Beautiful, that, wasn't it? What a player he was in general.
What I did like is the way that they announced him in the squad on the morning of the game. Then he turns up and he's captain.
Yeah.
Oh, sound.
Yeah, almost like he's gone, hang on. I'm the best one here.
Who was he? He's like, I don't even remember him.
Tony McOfficial says, how does Neil Atkinson feel about Chris chat? Don't know.
He likes crisps. I've seen him eat crisps.
Yeah, we've not had a big chat about it. Warhammer gets a shout. Hodgson, which is an Atletico.
To be honest,
thing there.
I just thought it was going to be someone wanting to talk about Warhammer, and I was like,
Warhammer. Yeah, get on that if you've never listened to that podcast.
Not just a Geordie Builder talking about his hammer.
Warhammer. What else? What else have we got? I knew we were going to struggle today. This is why I asked for questions.
It's the AFCON qualifiers. It's the African qualifier tonight, isn't it? So it's Salah versus Mane.
Salah v Mane. Yeah. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. My biggest thing about that is just both come back and be ready to play for Liverpool. Like, you know, you can do the thing of it'd be nice for Salah because but I haven't got no skin in the game. I just want them to be all right.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be nice if Mohamed Salah was having a 5-week break in the middle of next season, though. Think how good he'd be after Christmas.
I liked as well, by the way. There was a good. Did you read Jonathan Wilson's piece about Salah and about his contract and all that over the weekend?
I don't think I did.
He was just talking about like the situation and about the fact that a lot of people just seemingly saying like just pay him whatever. Yeah. And he was saying that's never the reality of how you're running something. But then what he was talking about as well is like how values of players can go really, really high, and their standing can go really high because where they are fits them so well, basically. Yeah. And he was saying, that is so clear at Liverpool. And he was saying, like, if you suddenly dropped Salah into PSG's team, he wouldn't be effective because they're not set up
to facilitate. There's a literal walk and talk an example of that right now.
Yeah. So and there's been multiple examples of it. So it was a good piece and it was an interesting piece. Enjoyed it. But yeah, it was. He was talking about that, about sort of how his standing in the game has gone through the roof because of Liverpool, obviously because of himself as well and his commitment and his professionalism and his skill and all of that kind of thing. But it's just like if he does go, would he be great somewhere else? Don't know. And then he was also talking about the idea that you can't just say pay them whatever because it's just not realistic, is it? Thinking about what we've got on today, we have got Gutter, as I mentioned. People have been asking for an overview as well, and we are recording one of those. I'm also having a go at this, what football means to me. Oh, yeah. Which I don't listen to our own content because I hear enough of everyone already. So I know the basic premise of it. I mean, it's in the title, isn't it? So yeah, I'll have a go with that later as well. So yeah. Phil's opinion on Jadon Sancho, says Kenbry.
I think he's an excellent footballer who is being mismanaged at the wrong club. Basically, he should never have gone to Manchester United because I don't really see why people are looking at Manchester United and going, I want a bit of that. Like, surely there's someone in football going, have you seen them? Have you watched them play? Have you seen what they're doing? Where are they in 3 years' time? Like, I don't really see how they win the league title in the next 5 years, to be honest. No. They need that much doing. Like, they haven't got a manager. They haven't got a manager.
No manager.
I can't believe they haven't got a manager by now.
And like literally people coming out in the press saying like, that they run as a commercial entity and not a football club and things like that. Yeah.
He's many things. Van Gaal is certainly an entertainer.
Yeah. I mean, he literally got his bollocks out in the change.
That's the story that comes to mind, isn't
it? What else have we got here? Did you see Sancho laughing on the bench when we slapped them 5-0? Yes. And we got here, Gareth, your opinion on the Will Smith slap? I mean, my opinion on the coverage of it is that lots of people who've got no connection whatsoever to the situation have been asked for their opinion on it, and that's mad. So I'm not going to now add to it by giving mine.
I thought you were going to say, my opinion is.
No, fuck that. What I was going to say about Egypt was like he just looks a little like a fella who's lost sometimes with Egypt, doesn't he, Salah? Like he's just standing there going.
Well, the whole sort of premise of Egypt seems to be you're not going to score. Because if you look at the squad, it's mad, by the way. Like you just go on Wikipedia and look where they all play. There's basically Salah, El Nene, and then like there's a couple of others scattered around Europe. But there's like of a 25-man squad, there's like 20 of them playing Egypt, which is Mohamed Salah could probably, if Mohamed Salah started a team with 9 men every week in the Egyptian league, you'd probably think they might win the league.
Yeah, it's like that thing, like someone somewhere used to do a thing, didn't they, where they'd have like a proper team versus like 500 kids and it'd be like them doing all the skills and all this swarm of kids running after them. You kind of pictured it being quite like that. Colin Robinson, to do something on the Will Smith situation, says Will Smith used an open hand because paper beats rock.
It's good.
No? Okay. I thought that was all right, but absolute silence from the room there.
It's in trouble if someone comes at him with a pair of scissors, though, I reckon.
Soz Carl. He also asked for thoughts on the Oscars slot.
Got no opinion, to be honest.
Not asked.
The only opinion I've got is I can't believe people think it might have been staged.
Hodgson and his son had a H belt buckle, says Steve.
That's well worse than a picture, by the way.
I mean, he had massive watches and a lot of books as well, apparently.
I had many leather-bound books.
Yeah. What else have we got? Gareth, your opinion on the dispute that's happening across the street? Derek's being unreasonable with his parking space.
You could... I was trying to think... How's he been unreasonable with his parking space? I want more information on this, and it also feels like this probably is one for Agony.
This is brilliant, yeah.
Email Agony.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Let us know more details.
I reckon Gutman's banging into parking spaces.
We'll turn it into content somehow.
Cope will send his car to the moon or something. I'm sure it'll be great fun.
If LFC did an Amazon-style documentary, which we know they won't because Klopp said he'd basically jack it in if that ever happened, but say they did, who would you choose to narrate?
To narrate? Atco, you know. I reckon Atco will be good at it.
There you go. Stephen Owen says he loves turtles. Colin Robinson says he's a big fan of tortoises.
It's the war we all want, isn't it?
Rudy asks, would the Anfield Wrap ever consider making an Anfield Wrap thong? and can we get a picture of our favourite contributor on the front? Perfect for the next Mother's Day.
Depends who's your favourite contributor, really.
I know, yeah. Wow. I mean, let us know. Let us know more deets. help@theanfieldwrap.com. And we'll go from there.
That's not actually customer services. That's like, we'll direct you to like a third party.
Robert says, how come it costs £15 to park in Goodison Park?
Presumably because there's demand for it.
Yeah, and there's that area that you can't park in, isn't there? Like, is there a mile radius or a 2 mile radius?
It's not a far walk and it's on a main road as well, so I imagine it's quite easy to get away from. Don't drive, don't park at the match, so very much. I don't even know how much it is to park anywhere else.
Phil asks, how's your walking challenge going, Gareth? Thanks for asking. I have completed my walking challenge. It was 310,000 steps in March. I did it on day 21.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, I was looking at the numbers and I was like, on about the 10th, I was like, you've absolutely smashed this in, because I've just taken a week off and still been done by now.
I've got an absolutely massive blister on one of my feet, but I'm still going. Because I've come this far, I'm just like, as many days as I possibly can, I'm going to do at least 10,000 and just see where I get. So it's only 2 days where I haven't done at least 10,000 all month. So I should be over, I haven't calculated it recently, but I should be over 400,000 by the end of the month. Also as well, if people still want to donate to that, please do, because I was on about 2,700 quid. And I'd love to get to 3,000 there. The money's being used to literally put people on the phones, train people up to be on the phones. I'm sure you know what the Samaritans do, by the way. They help people in crisis, considering suicide, all of that kind of stuff. They're the protocol for a lot of people in difficult situations. So it's great. It's fantastic what they do. And I'm made up to raise the amount I already have, but I'd still love to raise more. So yeah, if you want to throw in, the link's there. You can still donate it in the comments. Thanks, Mick, for throwing that in. We've also got Gareth, your opinion with our office fridge. Stuart's being a bit selfish with his supply of semi-skimmed milk. Come on, Stuart, pull your finger out, lad. I'm sure you walk past a Tesco Metro or something on your way in. Just dive in, buy some milk. You don't want to be seen as the milkman, do you? And it appears that you are being seen as that, and no one wants that, mate. So come on,
our office
get the milk in.
About 3 years ago, they had this in our office where they basically had to put a ban on people using milk for anything other than tea or coffee. So you had to take your own milk, and if you wanted cereal or anything, and you're making a bowl of cereal or porridge or something, then there's always someone looking at you like, is that your milk?
Little milk nuts, you like.
I
always think it's funny when it goes that way with office fridges, isn't it? And you start like initialing all the stuff in there and all that, and then But then, because when that happens, though, what always happens is someone will forget that they bought some, and it'll be like, you'll open the fridge and it's fucking running round of its own accord. It's that far out of date.
There's a lad I work with, and he basically turns up on his first day, because we work sort of afternoons, evenings, and he brought his tea in, stuck it in the fridge, and this is literally his first day, and he goes to get it out the fridge, can't find it, walks back, and one of like the senior bosses has just sat at his desk scranning his dinner.
Wow.
He's like, isn't that mine? He's like, no, it's mine. And he swore blind for about 10 minutes it was his, and then went, oh yeah, it's not mine, is it?
Wow, that's a big line crossed, that isn't it? Just scranning your tea.
But what do you do when like one of the most senior people in the office is like just eating your tea?
Knock him out. Fucking hell. Cheeky bastard. The milk what, says Vern? The milk minge bag. Minge bag. We're short for minge bag, come on. Let's keep some standards. Would you rebuild the Kop? Yeah, I'd love to. I'd like it to have a big tunnel through it, so you can still have the road, and then it goes over the road. I think it'd look fantastic and really annoy certain sections of the population of Liverpool, which is always good. Can you pop the blister on the Anfield Wrap live? Apparently you're not meant to, mate. I did look into that, but apparently you're not meant to because it can get infected, and then you might have to get antibiotics.
There's plenty of that on the internet. You can find any on the internet. If you want to watch someone pop blisters on the internet, if that's your thing, I reckon you can find it.
I mean, when I was still working in the old tabloids, I did used to get annoyed that stuff like that began to become news. I remember arguing in the office, saying like, really? Like, so we're not holding like the government to account, or, exposing fraudsters or anything like that. We're putting a video up on the website of a fella pulling a millipede out of his ear. Really? We're gonna wrap up, I think. But Stephen Nash says before we go, Monster Munch on a butty, right or wrong?
I'm not into crisp butties, No? Not
I like crisp on a butty with the rest of your butty, if you know what I mean. But not just, I don't go, I'm having a crisp butty. I go, I've got a cheese butty here, I'm throwing a few crisp on, and then I crunch them down.
I'm not having it, to be honest.
Not having it?
Not for me, Clive.
Gareth, your opinion on our five-a-side team? Jeff doesn't do his sharing goal.
Get the gloves on, Jeff.
I'll tell you what, today's Talking Reds, Mahbub Ahmed has been the absolute man of the match with these questions. Absolutely superb, mate. Hello from Melbourne, Australia, we've got there, which is nice. Aya, you're all right? Hope you're okay. Hope you're enjoying the show. It is the international break. Talking Reds are always a little bit wild during those times. We've got to mention these t-shirts as well. There is loads of stuff on sale right now in the Anfield Wrap shop. Go and check that out. You all want a Reds t-shirt, surely, to go to Wembley, to go to Portugal, to hopefully go to Germany, to hopefully go to Paris, to hopefully go to Wembley again. All of these trips watching the Reds, cheeky Reds t-shirt to go down and watch the Reds with, all available on the Anfield Wrap's shop. Check that out. It's not mine.
It's not mine, mate.
It's mine, no. We've also got a hi from New Zealand. We've got enjoyed the live show, lads, in Belfast. All of this is great, love to hear it. We've got a cheers, lad, for the Man of the Match award. And we've also got a recommendation for cheese and onion crisps on a ham butty. So go and check that out today, get involved. If you'd like us to launch a separate crisp channel at any point, help@theanfieldwrap.com. And that's been today's Talking